Hey guys, Professor Bulba here, and I'm going to talk to you about 11 awesome Pokemon facts relating to Pokemons and their moves. So, let's get to it. You know how in the Pokemon games since Generation 3 there are contests in which you can use Pokemon moves and get scored accordingly by judges on how neat or cool or pretty or beautiful or whatever the stupid categories are for the contests? Well, you may be surprised to know that some moves have some very, unique attachments. Instant. The move Self-Destruct is considered a beautiful move. Yes, my friends, there's nothing more beautiful in life than one self-destructing themselves. Apparently, Kamikaze, the Divine Wind, is a very beautiful thing. Touching. Another move in the Pokemon contest that is messed up is the move Struggle. Yes, the move Struggle, where you are out there on stage trying to make yourself look and seem like something important in front of your competitors, but you are instead struggling to do anything. According to the judges, this is a highly appealing move. Highly appealing. Watching someone struggle to get attention is highly appealing. You know, now that I think about it, that's pretty much what the internet's based off of. It's just people wanting attention and failing at it.
Hey, listen!
In Generation 1, the move Sand Attack was a normal type move, and then in Generation 2, it became a ground type move. And despite that, it is still able to affect flying type Pokemon and those with the ability to levitate, even now in Generation 6 and foreseeably onward. Now, the odd part about that is it's a ground move. It's clearly kicking dust up at someone, or sand in this case, and it can affect a flying type Pokemon. Now, there's a move called Mud Slap, which is basically the same idea but with mud, and that does not affect flying types or Pokemon who are levitating. Apparently, the difference between mud and sand is such a different viscosity that it doesn't affect them. Pokemon logic. Fun fact. The move Rock Climb has a 20% chance of afflicting Confuse on your opponent. Why might you ask? Well, think about this. If you're in a fight with someone and suddenly they start trying to climb you like you're a rock, then you might be a little bit confused, but only like 20% chance of being confused, right? Like, not 100%. I guess if you were a Geodude, you might not be confused by that, because technically you're kind of a rock. I still don't know where the confusion comes from. I'm confused about it. The move Hidden Power is based on IV stats, that is to say based on a Pokemon's IV stats is which type the Hidden Power move will come out as. Having said that, right now there is no combination that will allow a Pokemon to use the move Hidden Power and have it come out as the type of Normal or Fairy. And speaking of Fairy types and the lack of Fairy type moves, the ability Protean is unable to change a Pokemon into a Fairy type at this point in any legitimate way. That is because the two Pokemon that have this ability, Greninja and Kecleon, that is because the two Pokemon who have this ability, Kecleon and Greninja, are unable to legitimately learn any Fairy type moves at this point. And speaking of this ability, did you know that the move Struggle, if used with the ability Protean, will not change types? So if Greninja uses it and it's used a water type, it will remain a water type. It will not change to normal like the move Struggle is. Because what's a struggle without more struggle, huh? And here's some more facts about fairy types. 1. There is only one TM available currently for fairy types moves, and that is TM99, which is Dazzling Gleam. 2. There is currently no fairy type move tutors. Or rather, move tutors who teach fairy types, because it's so new to them, they just haven't got around to learning it. 3. There is currently only one fairy type move that is a physical, and that is Play Rough, because fairies like to play rough. Here's some food for thought. If I use the move Screech on a ghost type Pokemon, it will be affected by it. Its defense will be lowered. If I use Sing, there's a good chance that it'll fall asleep. If I use Supersonic, it can be confused. If I growl at it, its attack will be lowered for God knows what reason. But if I use Hyper Voice or any other damaging causing move, it doesn't affect it. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because if I were to growl at you, you could hear it. But if I had a chalkboard and I scratched it with my nails, that sound would affect you and it would hurt you. In fact, it would go into your very soul and make you happy the day you leave school. This is a shout out to all you guys who are in school. Sucks to be you. Bwah! That was 11 awesome Pokemon facts about Pokemon moves. And a little bit of a rant at the end. You can just ignore that because I was PMSing, which is Pokemon Monster Straining. Yes. If you're curious to know about some German Pokemon names, click here and check out my video with Sven about German Pokemon names where I make an ass of myself trying to figure out what names are Pokemon in German and how to translate to English, and I apparently can't speak English right now. Seiche.